back, YouTubers. I am Jason Worsma. That is Michael Stansford. This again is Tankers Fantasy Football, and we're going to bust down part 2 of the top 25 wide receivers out there. We had the 1 through 12 in the previous video, so we're going to hit you with the 13 through 25. In this one, we're going to lead it off at 13 with Adam Thielen, was he an undrafted guy? Came
undrafted.
The depths of the sea. I know he turned it on a little bit out there, showed you a little bit signs in that 2016. And last year, your boys at Tankers were telling you to get that Adam Thielen that 10th, 11th round, and he'd be your Super Boy Sexy Deluxe hero, baby. And that worked out well. We got Adam Thielen living it strong with the 91 receptions for 1,276 yards.
Just watch it.
Crazy.
What?
I mean, you see the only had the 4 touchdowns, but you know he's kind of that possession receiver. So you know the 91. I think with Cousins, I think he will maintain his sexiness. He is going to still get those 85 to 90 balls. But I mean, you know, you look at some of this stuff and you look at his last 5 weeks, and that's what's kind of turning you away a little bit. He kind of faded to the dark. Because he only averaged barely over 10 PPR in his last 5 games.
It did get pretty dark for him, you know. I'm not sure either, you know. Was that kind of with Stefon Diggs?
Yeah, Stefon Diggs kind of came to form a little bit there toward the end of the season. And, you know, Stefon Diggs did miss a little bit of time out there, and Adam Thielen was absolutely feasting. But, you know, I mean, Case Keenum did have a superhero season last year, but you got to think that Kirk Cousins is going to be able to step right in and at least do just as good, if not better.
At least. I mean, if anything, I see Kirk as a super solid upgrade on Keenum. You know, just offering a better floor for all those guys around him. I mean, together too, you know, Thielen and Diggs. I mean, they could make that argument for being the best wide receiver tandem in the league.
And you know, they do come with a little bit of risk since he's only really loved you sexy one time. But I am a believer. I think he is going to continue to get it done and be a very sexy, high-end wide receiver, too, for you for the entire season.
Love him.
Give the nod to 14 to T.Y. Hilton right here. I think if Andrew Luck can start throwing the Duke around and come back to form, I think T.Y. Current average draft position can be an absolute steal.
God, I love where he's going right now. You know, and T.Y. is a guy that showed us in the past what he's absolutely capable of. I think, man, where he's going right now, he can be such a steal.
Yeah, I mean, last year was his first season under 1,000 yards since 2012. Crazy. I mean, if Andrew Luck comes back to form, I think you can lock this guy down for 70 or 80 balls, probably 13, maybe even 1,400 yards, and he's never really been that sexy touchdown guy, but I think he can get into that 6, 7, 8 touchdown range for you and make you just reap the benefits of having faith in the Andrew Luck story. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the most big on the whole Andrew Luck's going to come back and be as good as he used to, but I mean, it's got to be leagues and bounds above what Jacoby Brissett was able to do with T.Y. Hilton.
Oh my God! And who else? Who was the other quarterback they had? Oh, can we dig it up?
Oh man.
Who was it?
I don't even
it was so dark for you, Indianapolis.
Poor T.Y. Hilton.
So dark for you,
He suffered a terrible death. He had a couple of those big blow-up games out there where Houston defender just kind of fucking forgot to touch him or whatnot. But he is going to be, if Andrew Luck is back in form, I think T.Y. Hilton can re-enter that back-end wide receiver 1 territory.
Too, with the potential to be super sexy.
We're going to round off the top 15 with a guy who's changed location, moved from Miami to the Mistake by the Lake, baby. And he's coming up there. Jarvis Landry, I mean, you look at his 112 receptions, which is absolutely sexy. But his yards per catch has always kind of been pedestrian, always under or right around that 10-yard per catch. He only had the 987 yards. With 112 receptions, 987 yards just isn't really that amazing. But, you know, you look at this, he had his high watermark for touchdowns though at the 9.
Just crazy. I mean, and I think too with Miami kind of letting him just go get paid somewhere else. You know, he's fell out of favor there. I think he steps right into a great situation in Cleveland for him. I mean, you're looking at either Tyrod Taylor or, you know, the young ascending Baker Mayfield. I think, you know, that it's definitely there for him.
I think it's more of a lateral move, you know?
Yeah,
he never really had...
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, he was living and dying out there with these 112 receptions and 9 touchdowns with J to the ROC, throwing him the ball, ex-Bear Nation, and I mean, you got to go in there thinking that Tyrod Taylor and even the Rook Baker Mayfield can at least get it done as good as J-Rock, who can't even fucking find work anymore.
Scary. I mean, if anything, he should just be working in a broadcast. But
Yeah, give it up, baby Jay. Let me watch you talk on the old Fox there.
I'm a much larger fan of Jay Cutler off the football field than I am Jay Cutler on the football field. Sidebar.
Give you number 16, other Viking. Gonna go some Stefon Diggs, who finished with 64 receptions for 849 yards and 8 touchdowns, along with the Minneapolis Miracle in the fucking divisional round.
My God, man. My Lord.
You gotta think, guys, if Stefon Diggs can stay on the field, he can get it ultra sexy deluxe with a guy like Kirk Cousins.
So sexy with a guy like Kirk Cousins. And you just see it, you just see these just great flashes with Stefon too, of how he can just ball out in an
Even
instant.
since his rookie year, he had great games to start his rookie year. Like the first 4 or 5 weeks of his rookie year, he came out fucking hot, solid. He fucking came out of nowhere. He fucking loaded up and settled it down. I mean, we're talking about a guy. You've got him ranked at 16 here just to be a little bit safe on the situation, but there's no reason why he can't jump over. You know, even guys like Tyreek Hill, maybe like Allen Robinson, who we talked about earlier, and even his teammate Adam Thielen.
Absolutely, man. Oh my God. Just watching him ball out, so much fun. So much fun.
17, you know, I'm not the biggest Doug Baldwin guy here. But I think, you know, with the defense of Seattle, they've gone completely to shit. Everybody is gone. You know, I think they're going to be kind of a doormat defense this season. And if that's the case, old Russ is going to have to huck it and chuck it more than he ever has before. And with Jimmy Graham out of town, I think it's going to be old Dougie Fresh. A lot of these second halves, I think it's going to be garbage time deluxe.
Jason.
Doug Baldwin.
I do
And
too.
Russell Wilson has proven that he can be 85% of that team's offense because he fucking was last season.
Absolutely. And two, he's also shown in the past he is not afraid to stick it on Doug Baldwin when he needs to. When he needs some plays out there, man. Down the field, my God.
Finished just a shade under the 1,000 with 991 last year. Still got you the 8 touchdowns and the 75 receptions, but I think those numbers are going to go up this year. I think just the sheer fact that the Seahawks are without a doubt not the powerhouse team that they used to be on defense. I think these games are going to be either a lot closer or they're even going to be trailing in the second half because they're playing in a very tough division now. Besides, like, you know, the Cardinals are kind of muddling around. We're not really sure what the Cardinals necessarily are, but the Niners are up and coming with the Garoppolo, and the Rams are just full steam ahead with Sean McVay and the rest of the band.
They're going places,
And
baby.
this is no longer the Seattle
man.
Seahawks division anymore.
Not at all, man. You know, and to your point too, I think that the garbage time aspect of it could be a reality this year, and you know maybe Doug Baldwin offers some value, being lower in the sort of pecking order, if you will, but definitely with that potential on a week-to-week basis to just get it in for you out there.
18 gave Alshon Jeffery, ex-Bear, leaves Chicago, gets himself a sexy Super Bowl ring, says, what the fuck's up now, Bears? I mean, we're talking about a guy who, the thing is, with Carson Wentz, you know, he wasn't really loving him too sexy out there. I mean, it was a pretty good season. We got some jing on set right now.
It's happening.
I mean, I always think that Zach, you know, I think usually the number one wide receiver is like the quarterback's, you know, top target, but I think his top target is Zach Ertz, and that's why I got Alshon Jeffery a little bit down on this list at 18.
Absolutely. You know, and two, I mean, I think we got to kind of mention Nelson Aguilar coming along too last season. I mean,
he's building up steam in his third year out there with Nelson Aguilar.
Making his presence definitely felt. I think it certainly helps that passing game out as a whole, but perhaps kind of again puts a little bit of a damper on Alshon. I will say about Alshon, I just love the strength that he shows when he catches a football, man.
Them big Mickey Mouse gloves out there, just fucking hawking
just
shit.
Vice-like, man. He's a strong guy to watch play.
I've never been that big of a fan of his body control But, I mean, he is a guy that can very well get it done. I mean, if he is going to get the targets, the thing is he plays for a powerhouse offense like the Eagles, talking about top 3 offense. I think you can write that down. And if he's going to be, 1 or 2 in targets, I think that, easily. I mean, there's no way he's not a wide receiver 2.
And he's.
I don't think he's the type of guy who can bust into that wide receiver 1 territory, though.
And I think too, maybe he could, slightly outperform where he's going right now. But I think too, we'll see where he starts to go in drafts once we get closer to the season. Maybe the hype train picks up on him, and maybe he's, a little overvalued. We could maybe see that too out of him.
19, we got some guy who, third team, third year, going Brandin Cooks.
I like it.
He went out there, he did decent for the Patriots. Solid wide receiver 2 numbers with the 65 receptions, just over 1,000 yards, and we have like the 8 touchdowns.
Seven touchdowns last year. I mean, I like the move though, as far as he gets traded from the Saints to New England. Has an opportunity to really.
He keeps getting traded to powerhouse offense, so that's fucking a thing. That's good for him.
It was kind of a thing of beauty though. He uses that 1-year stint in New England to sort of rehab his value. He ends up getting paid going out to LA, and he's on a stud offense on a loaded team. Again,
I'm just worried that if they're going to give us as many targets as they gave him Sammy Watkins, I'm just a little bit worried about his ceiling here.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I think he's a burner guy. I think he's going to be up and down like he's kind of always been for his career. I mean, this is just a guy who you can just write. I mean, best ball deluxe type of player right here.
Absolutely, and to your point too, he just kind of lives and dies on those long passes, man. So. Well, let's see him out there. I want to see. I'm very excited to see what he's.
I mean, they got Cooper Kupp, they got Robert Woods, they got Brandin Cooks, they got Todd Gurley. I mean, they are coming at you strong. I think Cooks will be able to get his though. I think he'll get that 65 to 70 grabs, probably maintain that 7 to 8 touchdown range. I like Alshon. I don't believe this is the type of guy who's going to really oversell his ADP value. I think he is what he is. I think he's going to get it done for you, but I don't think he's going to finish as the wide receiver 5.
No, definitely not. And two, I think we're going to see again this year just the Rams just creating offense, just making it happen out there. They do what they do.
We're going to go 20 overall. We're going to give it to our boy Josh Gordon, who is still off the dope.
Good
job, Joshy.
Love it, man. Love it.
Oh, I mean, I'm just a little bit afraid of him. He flashed a little bit of work. He had the 1 touchdown. I mean, he had to be just a little rusty as fuck. I mean, we're talking about barnacles out there.
How
he
long
just had
was
to
he
shake
out
off the
for?
barnacles.
How long was he off the field for?
I mean, like what, 2 years? Close to 2 years of not playing NFL football.
Man.
But he just looked like a fucking man beast out there. Fucking pythons. He's got the 24-inch Hulkster pythons out there.
God, Hulkamaniac.
I mean, he was winning jump balls against Pro Bowl corners like
Casey Hayward.
About a first week back in the NFL,
Against
just
the
fucking
Chargers.
bossing up against a guy like Casey Hayward. I mean, that shows hope. I mean, he played with like the Pro Football Focus rated Kaiser like the worst starting quarterback of 2017, so it's not like that was fucking helping him. I mean, the likes of Tyrod Taylor, maybe some Baker Mayfield as the season goes on. I think both of those things are very high upgrades from what Deshaun Kaiser was able to do for him last season.
I will say too about Josh Gordon, one thing I happened to notice looking at some of his numbers. He averaged over 18 yards of reception last year.
That's still sexy deluxe.
Pretty freaking sexy deluxe. Pretty sexy deluxe.
He's the type of guy, it's kind of a slant and go player. You throw it to him, he just out muscles one guy, and then he's fucking gone.
Off to the races. Man. Stay clean, Josh.
Stay clean, Josh. Stay clean for you and all of the fantasy players that love to watch you play football, baby. We got the guy that I know. I don't know. This guy doesn't get me fucking tingly in my pants whatsoever.
There was a time when, man.
There was a time.
Solid half chub watching some DT.
Solid half chub, but now I just don't know. He's kind of like a big guy who doesn't know how to jump or something. He doesn't do that fucking corner fade. He doesn't do the beat the guy to the high point of high point of the football. He's not out there grinding like that. He's a big guy, and I don't understand. I'm just not that fucking about him. I know he's gonna be steady. I know he's gonna be probably minimum back in wide receiver 2, but I just can't. I mean, I would rather throw a dart at a guy who could love me sexy, would somehow finish as a wide receiver 1 out of fucking nowhere than just I don't know. I just can't get excited about some Demaryius Thomas. I just can't.
I mean, you see him last year, 83 catches, 949 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, they may have at one time had the blackest, darkest hole at quarterback.
It was fucking bad
in the NFL last year. And I don't care who you are, what you say. Case Keenum's an upgrade on Trevor Siemian.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh, hands down.
That being said, I don't know. Could we maybe appeal to our viewers if they could offer us a reason DT doesn't belong on this list?
I mean, I put him on here because of his namesake. People know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Case Keenum can be anywhere close to what he was last season, I mean, the targets will probably be there for him. So I guess you can write him down for a wide receiver 2 finish. He's kind of is what he is.
Maybe back end.
Yeah, I'm not really that excited about him, but
no, me either. That's sad. It's sad, DT.
22, we're going to give to JuJu Smith-Schuster. Martavis Bryant is out of fucking Dodge.
He gone.
So he's definitely looking at being in the second in targets. I mean, maybe possibly third. We do have Le'Veon Bell, who is a very high pass catching back on the team. So we're looking at second or third targets on a high-powered offense like the Pittsburgh Steelers. He went out there, got it done as a rook with 58 for 917 yards and 7 touchdowns. I mean, that yard per catch is absolutely sexy deluxe.
Love it. I love it.
And those 7 touchdowns as a rookie is the reason why they let Martavis Bryant walk for a 3rd-round pick. I mean, I think they just went out there and raped the Raiders.
Oh my God, they bent John Gruden over.
I mean, they didn't want to fucking pay him
here a little bit.
They made him pay a 3rd-round pick for a 1-year rental on a guy who hasn't been fucking, He's never really. I mean, he had flashes a couple years ago, but he's never really been that fucking the guy chops.
Well, just the consistency. I mean, he spent most of last year on suspension. I mean, my God, out there, Martavis Bryant. I do like what I see out of JuJu Smith-Schuster, though. He offers such a solid presence across from Antonio Brown, and you can tell he's definitely in favor there. Ben's looking for him out there. I definitely liked what I saw out of him last year.
He's gonna be a single coverage all fucking day long.
All day long.
He got that going for
all
you.
day long, all day strong.
They gotta watch Le'Veon coming out of the backfield, and they gotta fucking double Antonio,
have to.
maybe even triple Antonio. So he's definitely gonna be seeing single coverage like damn near 95-100% of the time.
Gotta love this
with
situation.
that kind of talent, with the Berg slinging the rock. I mean, I think this guy has very high upside.
I do too. You gotta just love the situation that he's in, man.
23, we got Julian Edelman coming back from his torn ACL. He lost the entire 2017 season. But we're talking about Danny Amendola is down in Miami. We're talking Brandin Cooks is out in LA. I mean, I think there's just targets to be had. I think he's going to step right back into what he was in, 2014, 2015, 2016.
Just being that man.
I think he's just going to be a target vacuum out there.
Being that man. The guy that Tom Brady looks for, man. My God.
He's a chain mover. He's a sneaky guy. And he is going to scheme his way open. And I think easily, you can write this guy down easy for 90 balls.
Floor?
Yeah, I think 90 balls. If he plays 16 games, I don't see any way he doesn't catch 90 balls. He's never really been that touchdown, so you write him at like 5, maybe 6 touchdowns, and the yards aren't necessarily there, so like floating right around that 1,000-yard range. But I think his floor, if he is on the football field with the New England Patriots, I think his floor is as high as anybody's.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. He's just, man. So unfortunate what happened to him last year, and you see Hogan's heroes kind of step in and get some of that love.
He faded the black though,
and he faded down the stretch too. But I just you just kind of wonder what could have been last year with Julian Edelman, man. But enough of last year. Let's look forward to this year. See what's going to happen.
I mean,
out there.
Amendola, was kind of the Edelman clone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Brandin Cooks, his playmaking ability, it's gone. Yeah. So we're looking at Gronk and we're looking at Julian Edelman as the top 2 pass catchers on this football team.
And with Tom Brady still slanging the rock out there, man. Shit. I think for a guy that's 23 out of the top 25 that we have, my God, the potential is just Jesus Christ.
24, we can give it to Golden Tate, another guy with a very high, sexy floor, another guy you can depend on to finish as a wide receiver 2 for you. He is going to get it done. He is going to repay you your draft position that you drafted him. I mean, he's not the type of guy who's going to leap bounds into that wide receiver 1 territory. But if you look at it last year, this guy caught 92 balls.
I mean, that was one of the more surprising stat lines I had read. I kind of, notoriously just kind of not really paid attention to Golden Taint, as I call him. But 92 receptions last year.
Just over 1,003. He only had the 5 touchdowns, but we're talking about PPR.
92 receptions.
92 receptions out of Golden Tate.
Man.
Who knew these things?
I fucking didn't.
He's grinding. He's just out there grinding, man. He's a target vacuum, and I think he's a very safe play. He's not a guy who's gonna fucking go out there and just ball hard and love you sexy, but I mean, he is the master of the 15 PPR points.
He's gonna get you that 15.
He get you 12 to 15, baby, right now.
I do like with the Lions keeping Jim Bob Cooter at offensive coordinator there. I mean, more of the same, I think, for them this year. And they might even have a running game to boot. So, let's see.
We got the next guy on the list only because I want to shit all over him. 25. 25. We're going to give it to Amari Cooper.
Is it time? Is it time for the shovel?
Oh, my God. I mean, you're looking at this shit.
It's time for the shovel, folks.
And you're thinking that John Gruden's going to come in there and he's going to resurrect the Coop. But I'm saying the likes of Jordy Nelson, he's kind of long in the tooth, but he's going to replace Crabtree as that inside the 5, inside the 10 fucking little touchdown guy. He's gonna. Martavis Bryant's now in town. Martavis Bryant is now in town. And, Amari Cooper's kind of a big play guy, and Martavis Bryant's probably going to be stealing a little bit of that fucking section. You look at 48 receptions for 680 yards and 7 touchdowns. I mean, he had 11 of those catches, 210 of those yards.
And 2 touchdowns.
And 2 of those touchdowns in one fucking game. And we came on here last year and we told your ass to sell fucking high the week after Amari did that. And I hope you fucking did. If you look at this shit, this is the Golden Shovel Deluxe. You look at this shit and you just want to fucking vomit. You had 8 games last year. We're talking about 8 games. We're talking about half an NFL season with 33 yards or less in 8 games. Oh.
It hurts. It hurts to hear. It hurts to hear it, baby.
Oh, it's so fucking bad.
Oh, it's so bad, Amari. It's so terrible.
And I just don't think the old Grootster is going to be able to resurrect anything that is Amari Cooper. I mean,
I don't think so. He's out there signing blocking tight ends.
I'm not about Gruden's lost his fucking mind.
It's 1998 out there, man.
He's lost it, bro.
Oh, God. I don't know if you remember this.
I like Gruden too, but
yeah.
What the fuck's he doing?
I like him in the broadcast booth.
Is he he's like having like a power struggle with himself or something? It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. I don't know.
The man in the mirror is me.
It's true. He's lost his fucking mind. All right. If you like the cut of our jib, give us a subscribe. Give us a share. Give us a thumbs up. If you like, maybe we forgot a guy that you think should have been on the list. Tell us about it in the comments below. We're all in. At me on Twitter. Tell me what's up. You fucking want to fucking have a little shout out about, how you thought my shit was dog shit. Well, you just fucking let me know, babe. Holla at me. Cheeseburger.